The next step in the pre-flight procedure is to calculate and enter the performance data for our departure. This is a critical step and has led to many mishaps in airline category aircraft over the years. So it is accomplished by both crew members and verified very carefully. Typically, in the airline world, this information is data linked directly into the CDU. However, in the sim world, we have to calculate it ourselves and manually input it. To do this, we'll turn to the Performance tool on the tablet, select Takeoff Data, and import the departure field information from our flight plan. We'll select runway 16 right and see that the elevation, heading, slope, and length have automatically populated. The runway condition can be verified as dry, with selections for different atmospheric conditions as appropriate. We will input the aircraft's data directly from the aircraft using the push button. The weight of 143,015 pounds and the CG of 25.27% have been automatically downloaded from the aircraft. For today, I will force the performance calculator to use flap 1, as that is my operator's default 737-800 takeoff configuration. The 900ER typically uses flap 5 for tail strike margin. We'll use the optimum engine rating. Anti-ice will be off for today, and air conditioning, i.e. the PACs, will be on. We'll import the weather and select Calculate. We can see the output is TO2 with a selected temperature of 33 degrees. So let's enter that data into the computer. The first step is to verify our weight of 143,000 pounds in the FMS. To do this, select Init Ref, and on the Performance Init page, verify 143,000 pounds. Next, we can move to the N1 limit page and input the results from the performance calculator. TO2, 33 degrees. TO2 at LSK 4 left, and 33 degrees can manually be typed into the alphanumeric keypad and selected to LSK 1 left. This information should display on the engine page as TO2 33. Climb 1 derate has automatically been selected, and we can now move to the takeoff page. Flap 1 can be selected, and the CG can be automatically populated by double-clicking the CG field. This is a simulator feature, but it's pretty handy. We can see that the CDU value of 5.1 degrees matches with the EFB's 5.11 degrees, and the calculated V1, VR, and V2 speeds of 145, 146, and 150 match those calculated by the tablet. Finally, we'll input 150 knots or V2 into the MCP and set the trim to 5.1. There we go. The pre-flight procedure is complete. We can now take a second to review all the items and run the pre-flight checklist. Prior to running the pre-flight checklist, we would discuss the plan for the departure with the other pilot and ensure that we're all on the same page for nav aids being used, as well as which modes can be expected on the autopilot. Once the briefing is complete, we'll run the pre-flight checklist. Pre-flight checklist. Interior and exterior inspection, complete. Circuit breakers, checked. Nav and display switches, normal and auto. Passenger signs, on. Window heat, on. Engine bleed air switches, on. Pressurization panel, set. Pressurization mode selector, auto. Mode control panel, set. Oxygen mask, checked, left and right. Altimeters, 3027, cross-checked. Flight and nav instruments, verified. Warning annunciator lights, checked. Speed brake, down. Takeoff warning, checked and throttles closed. Engine start levers, cut off. Stab trim cutout switches, normal. Fire warning, checked. Radios and transponder, set. Radar, off. Rudder and aileron trim, free and set to 0. Parking brake, set. Windows, closed and locked, left and right. Flight attendant and crew briefings, complete. Logbook and quick reference handbooks, on board. And fuel required, 10.9 on board, checked against 11.0 required by our flight plan. Pre-flight checklist complete.